Coffee and conversation, where you get your information. Whether local, regional, or international, coffee and conversation. Coffee and conversation. Coffee and conversation.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this little show we call Coffee and Conversation.
Yeah.
We're here every weekday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. live, and the show repeats at 6 p.m. on KCHF TV 11. You can not only have breakfast with us, you can have dinner with us.
That's right.
No, we don't do a separate show at 6. It's the same one you're seeing now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's what it is.
That's just the way it is.
Okay, we're going to talk about water in New Mexico now, and that's always a key issue in a place like our land of enchantment. And we have two guests with us this morning. We have John Deal, who is a conservationist and chief executive officer of Nine Power Clean Water, and Deborah Deal Blackwell, vice president of marketing for the same company. And I want to welcome you both to Coffee and Conversation. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Larry. How are you this morning?
Hey, really good. Thank you, John. Good to have you both here. Am I pronouncing the name of your company correctly?
You are.
Good.
We trick people up by using a Roman numeral.
I know. I know, but that's okay. I'd like to know about your company first, and then we'll talk about the water issue, and it's certainly something that we deal with here in New Mexico a lot. So tell us about what you guys do.
Well, actually, New Mexico is our inspiration for our work in water and in water conservation and reuse and recycling. Having spent a bunch of years there as a kid at the Scout Ranch in northern New Mexico,
yeah,
and then also living in Santa Fe, and I remember you and Frank on KOB because I was in New Mexico for many, many years.
Wow.
We, Deborah and I have spent a career commercializing tech from Los Alamos Laboratory. And about 10 years ago, we became aware of some new technology that the laboratory had developed in conjunction with New Mexico Tech and University of Texas to take industrial wastewater and clean it up so it could be reused by industry and even in other applications.
Right.
So that's what our company does. We make machines based on that technology, and
Interesting.
it's a real-time water treatment.
Wow, that's fascinating stuff. And the origins of this technology came out of Los Alamos National Laboratory. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Now, how about that? Very good. So tell us about the market for this, and then we'll talk about the real need for what you do. Where are you?
Do you want to talk a little bit about our market?
Where are you applying this technology?
Well, of most important to your New Mexico viewers is the application for cleaning, treating, and recycling produced water from the oil and gas industry. It takes 12 million gallons of water to frack a well. In the New Mexico area, and your state creates about 42 billion gallons of produced water every year,
right?
Just out of the Permian Basin alone. So in a state that needs water, that's a big resource for y'all.
Sure is.
Is looking at and taking and addressing all that produced water, billions and billions of gallons of it every year.
Well, very interesting. And then there's the at-home use, which is up because we're all home now, right?
Yeah, I noticed that Santa Fe's domestic use has gone up a little bit, and I didn't see the stats on other larger cities in New Mexico. But, the municipal water that's fed by local aquifers or by surface water is sort of in competition with industry when they need water for operations. And so, again, if we can help industry create kind of a closed water ecosystem where they can lower their withdrawals of fresh water from other sources, that leaves more water for people and
Sure.
for growing.
Makes
So
sense.
it's kind of a simple little equation. By helping industry do a little bit better job with their water resources, that's going to increase the amount of water that we have.
So the water they're using in the fracking process down in the Permian Basin, that water that they're using and as it comes back up, is it brackish? Is it how is it contaminated, and how can it be cleaned up?
Well, there's a couple sources of water there. One is just the frack water, which carries the sand into the formation. That coming back up to the surface is 12 billion gallons, but as Deborah said, it's kind of a little drop in the bucket from the amount of water that gets mined along with oil and gas. Every time you bring up a barrel of oil or a cubic foot of gas, you bring up a ton of water. Sometimes as much as 98% of your quote-unquote oil haul is just contaminated water. And it's contaminated with everything that's down there in the earth. And everything that's in that oil and gas. So you've got hydrocarbons and salts. You referred to brackish, but yes, that's we call that total dissolved solids, or TES. And they've got magnesium salts, and they've got regular table salt, sodium chloride in there, and then also other things that are kind of weird to deal with from a sort of traditional water treatment standpoint, and that includes metals, arsenic, and things like that. So our approach necessarily has to be completely different than just standard sort of freshwater treatment for household use.
I'm guessing that there's not a one-size-fits-all fix for the different kind of water treatments that you have to do. Does your technology allow for this to shift around and take care of the water that you need for every different application?
It sure does. I mean, we sarcastically call ourselves water doctors because we really have to understand what's wrong with the patient, how the water's been contaminated or what's in it. And then we prescribe specific reactors that we've developed to pull out classes of contaminants.
Very good.
So if you have a low amount of salt in your water, you might be able to just pull out the hydrocarbons and the metals and then take, that sort of very low amount of salt water and it's no higher than what's on the ground already, and you could use it on agriculture, on crops.
Does this have a homeowner application at all? Do you envision a system like this being installed in somebody's house or in their property?
We're kind of we are working on that now. Is a smaller type system which can be used for households, especially addressing the arsenic problem, which is pretty big for people who have their own wells and are not getting their water from a municipal system. You can have, if you're pulling from a well, you can have arsenic, lead, all kinds of things in that water. And for your listeners, please get your water tested.
Yeah. If
you're using a well, you need to have that water tested once every 1 or 2 years. So, but yeah, that's something we're working on now.
Well, this is great technology, and if somebody in industry wants to know more about the technology you've developed here, how do they find out more from 9 Power Clean Water?
Well, the easiest way to figure out what we're doing is to go to startengine.com/IX-water. We're in the middle of a crowdfunding, and we've got very complete information on what the company's doing and where we're going, and that's kind of the one-stop shop. It's startengine.com/IX-water. Okay.
Fascinating stuff. I think you're really on the edge of something really wonderful here, and the applications are many that I can see, and especially in a water-distressed state like ours. Would you keep us updated on how this is going and how we can help you get the word out?
We'd be glad to.
Good. Happy to talk with both of you this morning, and thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and you too.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Join us again for Coffee and Conversation with Frank and Larry. For comments and questions, email Larry at coffeeandconvonm.com. If you'd like to be a guest, call Kitty at 505-345-7373 or visit our website at coffeeandconvonm.com. You can write us today at Coffee and Conversation, P.O. Box 4338, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87196.